For daily Ask Reddit. r/ask Reddit. What's the biggest reason why you hated high school? Social interaction was a nightmare for my anxiety. My school social anxiety was worse than if I was around random people. I would never see those people again. That and I was just kind of a loser. Same. That's why I did so well in retail. It's the people that I have to see daily that I have to worry about. Gosh, I have the same problem. I was a pariah. The popular kids made fun of me, the smart kids were too smart for me, the cool outcasts were too edgy for me, and I didn't have any special hobby that would make me part of a geek squad. Couldn't find anywhere to fit in. This was me. I'm jealous of reading stories of outcasts who at least had some friends to hang out with in high school. I went to a 60-year reunion at my school. The smartest kids didn't do much with their lives. Some were failed politicians. One was a builder, but he surely could have done more. One was a top cricket player with a boring accountancy job. Well, let's see. A 60th reunion means you're almost 80, and here you are on Reddit. That's quite the accomplishment, if you ask me. I was 14 when I started at high school, so I'm 75 now. I learned about computers at university in 1965 and helped to write several operating systems. Reddit isn't that hard. Yeah, for you. But for your contemporaries, I don't think I've seen anyone who's 75 on Reddit. Pretty cool, actually. I really didn't. I remembered elementary and middle school being way worse. My most stressful periods of my whole education were in middle school. Agree. Middle school was worse. High school brought more people like me that I could identify with. I didn't like it, but it was better than middle school. My kid is in 8th grade and he doesn't have a lot of friends, but there's like no after school clubs or anything besides a few sports, and he's not into sports. I hope he finds his people in high school. There's a club or group for everything. It'll get better. I went to a smallish private middle school and had the same issue. Very few clubs. Got pressured into playing football but hated practice. There seems to be a lot more extracurricular options for nerds now. My middle school just had like a sign language club, music, and National Junior Honor Society. There seems to be a lot more extracurricular options for nerds now. The problem is that it looks that way on the surface, but many times those clubs aren't what they seem. A lot of them are made by overachieving students who want to overload on extracurricular for college applications, but have little to no interest in the topic or running a club. As such, it's often filled with their clique who are just there, so they don't get fined for the line on the application, and the outcast who wants to find common interest is still treated as an outsider. Not saying all groups are like that by a long shot, but it's probably not significantly different than when you went to school, just that there's a lot of noise hiding the couple good groups. I agree. Middle school is absolute hell. I wouldn't go back for any amount of money. By the time I got to HS, there were a lot more people, groups to hang out with, clubs to join instead of just a few sports. Nobody really made fun of each other anymore. We just kind of all did our own thing. It was still a bit bad in 9th and 10th grade, but by the time we got to 11th and 12th, that kind of stuff was totally gone. I went to a small private middle school, and I always described it as basically the purgatory between elementary and high school. The kids aren't childish enough for elementary school and aren't mature enough for high school, so they are in a holding pattern called middle school. I dislike going to them all still for this reason. Middle school teachers and staff are saints-imo. Do kids still hang out at malls? I don't even know. I was a late 80s kid, so that's pretty much all we did. Mallrats is one of my favorite movies ever, lol. I was a middle school /HS teacher for 12 years and yeah, it's tough. But imo, it's the kindergarten teachers who are saints. Putting up with kids peeing in their pants, giving you sloppy hugs and kisses, and barely being older than babies. I could never deal with that. For me it was 7th grade. 5th grade was put on a couple different medications and my doctor was trying to figure out the proper dosage. This led to insomnia at night and feeling like a zombie during the day. Despite being popular in 4th grade, I was bullied quite a bit in 5th grade. Halo came out on the Xbox that year, and it caused me to start failing a class leading to stress at home. 6th, 7th grade, went through a bit of an identity crisis where I really wanted to be popular or at least accepted by everyone, so I tried to be the class clown. I quickly began to realize that wasn't winning me any more friends, so I decided to hang with the nerdy kids, but I didn't fit in with most of them either. Yes, absolutely. Middle school was awful. There were only 15 of us in my graduating class, and I didn't get along with many of them until 8th grade, when we were all like fuck it, we are leaving soon. We all got along decently in 8th grade. High school, I hated it at the time, but now a couple years after I've graduated, I don't really have many bad memories of it, mostly fun ones. Elementary school was alright, I barely spoke English. Middle school was bad, high school was alright, though I definitely could have played it better. My town had a whole school just for 6th graders. It was the worst, and I had horrible bully problems. Middle school, I didn't get the same lunch period as my friends, so I hung out with kids I didn't really like, just to hang out with someone. High school was so much better. Lack of self-awareness? Looking back, it was hanging out with friends for 7 hours a day and doing basically nothing. That sounds much better to me now, but the grass is always greener, as they say. I hate how dumb I was. High school gives you a teaspoon of adulthood by allowing you partial freedom, but there are zero consequences. It's like the honey spot in life that makes you think you got it all figured out. Now I see kids these days with the same thought pattern I had when I was their age and get frustrated. I would like to let them know they'll have to take the green glasses off soon, and you'll see life for what it really is, but in that mindset you're invincible.